Hello everyone, Ace here, and I know that this is a spoiler, but the way I see it, I have to warn you all about just how terrible this major plot twist is. But in issue 2 of Marvel's Marneus Calgar, they actually killed off the titular character. Marneus is dead, and not only that, he's been dead the entire time that the fandom has known about him, as issue 2 actually kills him off in his own backstory when he's still an initiate, and not even a space marine yet. And you may now be wondering how that could even be possible, but the reality is that this issue actually explains that the chapter master of the Ultramarines is actually an imposter, and merely assumed the identity of Marneus Calgar after the real one died. Now for those of you who are curious, the real name of the Ultramarine chapter master is now established to be Tacitus, and it also turns out that before becoming a space marine, he was actually a servant to the real Marneus Calgar. And you may now suspect that he actually adopted this identity in secret, and that he is the only one that knows about this. However, that is simply not the case. In fact, not only is it apparently known that the real Marneus actually died, but he even has his own statue erected in his memory, despite dying as a Space Marine initiate and accomplishing pretty much nothing in his life. It makes absolutely no sense why he would receive such a statue. And while we're on the subject, let's actually talk about how he died, in case you weren't furious enough. Because it turns out that the guy that was training him and the other initiates was secretly a Khorne worshipper, and actively subverting these said initiates to the ways of the ruinous powers. And not only is it established that he has been doing this for years, he's been doing this right under the very nose of the Ultramarines in their own backyard. How has he not been caught? And how have his corrupted initiates not been caught either? It makes absolutely no sense. And I could keep going on about the problems with this particular issue of the comic. After all, this was originally planned to be a review. However, I don't really think I need to at this point. In fact, not only is this an abysmal issue of a comic book, but the damage it's done has been so severe that I cannot actually see Marvel salvaging this particular series. What Marvel has done here is such a slap in the face of the fandom that, in my opinion, it would have been legitimately better if they decided to make a Warhammer 40k My Little Pony crossover comic. I am dead serious. Because at the very least, something like that wouldn't be taken seriously, and there would be no fear of it being considered canon. By contrast, Marvel is indeed trying to be taken seriously with Marneus Calgar, and it does legitimately make me concerned that Games Workshop might decide to consider this canon. And I should of course also mention the fact that members of the Wokehammer community have come out in support of this comic as well. But the absolute worst fact of all about this whole situation is that we are only 2 issues in, and this series is planned to be 5 issues long. We're not even halfway done, and I legitimately dread just how worse it will get. Now, for those who are morbidly curious, I will actually be providing a link in the description below to an online version of the comic so you can read it yourself. But don't say I didn't warn you. In any case, this has been Ace. Hope to see you guys again soon. Take care. Ace out.